issue here is not Assad's government. Assad's government maintaining the siege around Medea, but Assad's government has never prevented access for aid to any of these areas, contrary to what the mainstream media is reporting, and especially the BBC. Now, as Vanessa pointed out on Friday, the propaganda over Medea has been in overdrive. The aim is to blame the Syrian government for all the problems. And we showed some of the images of emaciated people, including this little girl, who we now know is living in South Lebanon. And we demonstrated that images were being distributed, including by media outlets which were not from Medea at all, including this one, which is about a year old, well, almost a year old, and from a refugee camp nowhere near Medea. So we also mentioned how these types of images were being distributed. We mentioned how Vice News had to retract the images that it was using because it discovered they weren't from Medea either. And since there's been such a Twitter storm over the use of bogus images and propaganda, it's doubly surprising, or perhaps not, that Vanessa has caught the BBC doing exactly the same thing. So here we are. This is the report. It's from Jim Muir, and it begins with a warning that some of the images are disturbing, and it carries the usual images that are appearing everywhere, like this and like this, and it includes this young man, except that this young man is not in Medea. He was in Yarmouk in 2014. So the BBC, caught in the act with its pants down, absolutely using this type of propaganda within its own reports. So just to reiterate the point, I'm going to show two reports here, two short excerpts here. The first one is from the BBC report, and the second one is from the YouTube channel that we've just seen from 2014. And really, you know, it makes the point that these are the same video clips. So here we go.
Back in October, when the last...
So as you may have noticed, the first one had the BBC logo at the top left. The second one didn't. The first was from the BBC, saying that this took place in Medea over the weekend.